The Alpha King kissed the wrong woman at a wedding, or so everyone thought. The entire wedding hall went silent. Hundreds of wolves stared at the most feared alpha in the world as he stood with his lips pressed against the woman everyone believed he had chosen by mistake. The bride was standing only a few feet away. Her wedding dress glittered beneath the golden chandeliers. Her family was watching. The royal council was watching. Even the pack warriors were watching. And every single person in that room knew one thing. The Alpha King was supposed to choose the bride, not the quiet woman standing behind her, not Elena Vale. Elena wasn't royalty. She wasn't a noble woman. She wasn't even important enough to sit at the main table. She had spent most of her life being treated like an unwanted shadow in her own family. Yet somehow, the most powerful werewolf alive had just crossed an entire ballroom to reach her, and kissed her. Elena couldn't breathe. Her fingers trembled against his chest. She didn't even know his name beyond the stories people whispered about him. King Adrian Blackwood, the ruthless Alpha King, the wolf ruler whose army had never lost a battle, the man every unmated woman in the kingdom dreamed of marrying. And now his arms were wrapped around Elena. His golden eyes burned into hers. For 3 heartbeats, nobody moved. Then the bride screamed, "You kissed the wrong woman!" The words shattered the silence. Several guests gasped. Someone dropped a glass. The royal council immediately began whispering. Elena's heart pounded. She tried to step backward, but Adrian's hand tightened gently around her waist. His eyes never left hers. The bride stormed toward them. "Your Majesty, she isn't the woman you were supposed to choose." Adrian slowly turned his head. The entire room waited. He could have apologized. He could have admitted that the kiss had been a mistake. He could have walked toward the beautiful bride standing in white. Instead, Adrian looked back at Elena. His expression changed. Something fierce appeared in his eyes. Something almost possessive. Then he spoke. "No." The room became completely silent. Adrian pulled Elena closer. "I didn't kiss the wrong woman." He looked directly at the bride, then at the shocked crowd, and finally back at Elena. "I finally found the right one." Elena's heart stopped. The bride stared at him in horror. "What are you saying?" Adrian's golden eyes began glowing brighter, and then he made the announcement that would change the entire kingdom. "She's my mate." A collective gasp erupted. Elena shook her head. "No!" She looked around desperately. "This can't be right." Adrian frowned. "What?" "You have the wrong woman." For the first time that night, confusion crossed the Alpha King's face. Elena swallowed hard. "I don't belong here." She pointed toward the bride. "She does." Adrian stared at her for several seconds. Then he stepped closer. His voice dropped. "My wolf has been searching for you for 20 years. Elena's breath caught. "What?" "My wolf has rejected every woman who came near me." He gently lifted her chin. "But the moment I saw you," his golden eyes flashed. "He recognized you." Elena didn't understand. She couldn't. Because as far as she knew, she was nothing special. She had never shifted. She had never attended a royal ceremony. She had never even been invited into the inner circles of the pack. She was simply Elena, the unwanted girl, the forgotten daughter, the woman who had spent her entire life standing behind someone else. And yet the Alpha King's wolf had chosen her. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. Because nobody in that wedding hall knew the truth. Not Adrian, not the bride, not the royal council, not even Elena herself. The Alpha King hadn't kissed the wrong woman. He had accidentally exposed the woman the entire kingdom had spent 25 years trying to find. And by sunrise, everyone would know her name. 3 hours before the Alpha King kissed the wrong woman at the wedding, Elena Vale stood alone in front of a mirror and wondered if anyone would notice if she never went downstairs. She stared at her reflection for a long moment. Her long, wavy chestnut-brown hair fell softly over her shoulders, catching the warm light from the small chandelier above her dressing table. Her hazel-green eyes looked tired, even though she had barely done anything that day. Her heart-shaped face carried the same quiet expression it seemed to wear every morning. She looked ordinary. That was what everyone had always told her. Ordinary, forgettable, unimportant. Elena looked down at the lavender dress she was wearing and smoothed the fabric over her waist. It was pretty, simple, but pretty. The soft lavender color suited her fair skin, and the modest neckline made her feel comfortable. She had chosen it carefully because she didn't want attention. Tonight wasn't her night. It belonged to Sabrina. Everything belonged to Sabrina. The wedding, the flowers, the music, the expensive jewelry, the endless stream of guests, and possibly, if the rumors were true, the attention of the most powerful werewolf in the world, the Alpha King. Elena sighed. She had no desire to meet him. Men like King Adrian Blackwood belonged to a world she could barely imagine. Power, royalty, danger. She had spent her entire life learning how to stay out of that world. A knock sounded against the bedroom door. "Elena?" She immediately recognized her aunt's voice. "Come in." The door opened. Her aunt stepped inside, dressed in an elegant cream gown decorated with tiny pearls. Her eyes moved over Elena from head to toe. For a moment, neither woman spoke. Then her aunt sighed. "You're finally ready." "Yes. Your sister's guests have already started arriving." Elena nodded. "I know." Her aunt stepped closer and adjusted a loose strand of Elena's hair. "Try to look happier tonight." Elena forced a smile. "I'm happy for Sabrina." "Good." Her aunt stepped back. Then her expression became serious. "And Elena..." "Yes?" "Try not to draw attention to yourself." Elena blinked. "I wasn't planning to." "Good." Her aunt gave her a small smile. "This is Sabrina's night." The words landed exactly where they always did. Elena lowered her eyes. "I know." Her aunt turned and walked away. The door closed. Elena remained still. "This is Sabrina's night." She had heard those words so many times that they barely surprised her anymore. Sabrina's night. Sabrina's achievement. Sabrina's beauty. Sabrina's future. Everything was always about Sabrina. And Elena had learned not to complain. She picked up her small purse. Before leaving the room, she looked at herself one final time. For just 1 second, she wondered what it would feel like to be noticed. Not because she was Sabrina's sister, not because someone needed something from her, not because she had done something useful, just because she was Elena. The thought disappeared almost as quickly as it came. She shook her head. "What am I thinking?" Then she opened the door and walked downstairs. She had no idea that before the night was over, the entire kingdom would know her name. She had no idea that the man she had spent her entire life trying to avoid would become the one person she could never escape. And she certainly had no idea that the life she believed she understood was about to collapse. Because Elena Vale wasn't ordinary. She just didn't know it yet. The Vale estate had never been this crowded. By the time Elena reached the main staircase, the entire lower floor was alive with voices. Servants hurried between rooms carrying trays of champagne and expensive desserts. Musicians were tuning their instruments. Guests moved through the grand entrance wearing elegant gowns and formal suits. The smell of roses filled the air. White roses covered almost every surface. They had been Sabrina's choice. Of course they had. Sabrina had spent months planning every detail. She wanted the wedding to be remembered, and judging from the number of powerful guests already arriving, it would be. Elena stood at the bottom of the stairs and quietly watched the crowd. She recognized several faces: pack leaders, high-ranking alphas, lunas, royal officials. people whose names she had heard whispered throughout the household. She felt completely out of place. Then she saw Sabrina. Her stepsister stood at the center of the ballroom. She looked breathtaking. Her long blonde hair had been styled into an elaborate arrangement, with small diamonds woven through it. Her blue eyes were bright, her makeup flawless, and her white gown seemed to glow beneath the chandeliers. People surrounded her, complimenting her, laughing with her, telling her how beautiful she looked. Sabrina smiled at everyone. She had always been good at being the center of attention. Elena wasn't jealous. At least, that was what she told herself. She had simply accepted a long time ago that some people were born to be noticed. Others were born to stand in the background. She belonged in the background. "Elena!" Sabrina's voice pulled her from her thoughts. Elena turned. Sabrina was walking toward her. Her smile was beautiful, but Elena knew her well enough to recognize the warning hidden behind it. "You came." Elena smiled. "Of course I came." Sabrina glanced at her dress. Her eyes lingered on the lavender fabric. "That's what you're wearing?" Elena looked down. "Yes." Sabrina tilted her head. "It's simple. I thought that was appropriate." "For my wedding?" Elena frowned slightly. "I didn't want to take attention away from you." Sabrina smiled. "You wouldn't." The words were soft, but they still hurt. Elena looked away. Sabrina stepped closer. "Actually, it's better this way." "Better?" "Yes." She lowered her voice. "There will be important people here tonight." Elena nodded. "I know. People who might misunderstand if they see you trying too hard." Elena looked at her. "Trying too hard to do what?" Sabrina smiled again. "Nothing." She touched Elena's arm. "Just stay near Aunt Catherine tonight, okay?" Elena slowly nodded. "Okay." Sabrina walked away. Elena watched her disappear into the crowd. She wasn't sure why, but something about Sabrina's words made her uneasy. Important people. People who might misunderstand. What exactly was Sabrina worried about? Before Elena could think about it any further, someone called Sabrina's name. She immediately turned back toward the crowd. Elena stepped aside. Invisible again. Exactly where she belonged. At least, that's what she thought. As the evening continued, Elena stayed near the edge of the ballroom. She spoke to a few guests when necessary. She smiled when someone addressed her. She accepted a glass of sparkling juice from a servant, and mostly, she watched. She watched Sabrina laugh. She watched Sabrina dance with her fiancé. She watched guests congratulate the bride's family, and she watched the doors. Because there was one rumor spreading through the ballroom. The Alpha King was coming. Nobody knew for certain. Some said he had accepted the invitation. Others said he would never attend a wedding outside the royal palace. But every time the great entrance doors opened, heads turned. Elena noticed. Everyone was waiting. Even the powerful alphas seemed nervous. She had never understood why. Adrian Blackwood was a king. Yes, he was powerful. Yes. But why did grown alphas become silent whenever his name was mentioned? Then she heard two women whispering behind her. "They say he hasn't accepted a mate yet." "He hasn't accepted anyone, not even the daughters of the northern alphas. He rejected all of them. Why?" "They say his wolf won't accept them." Elena glanced over her shoulder. The women continued whispering. "They also say his wolf is becoming more violent." "That's just a rumor." "Is it?" The second woman lowered her voice. "They say the king has been searching for his mate for years." Elena looked away. She wasn't interested. At least, she tried to convince herself she wasn't. The idea of a man searching for his fated mate sounded like something from an old legend. She had never experienced anything supernatural herself. She had never shifted. She had never heard a wolf inside her mind. She had never felt a mate bond. As far as she knew, she was simply an ordinary human-born Omega. A weak one, according to some. Elena had learned not to care. She took another sip of her drink. Then the ballroom became strangely quiet. Elena frowned. She looked toward the entrance. The doors had opened. A group of royal warriors entered first. They wore black uniforms trimmed with silver. Their expressions were serious. Every warrior moved with military precision. Then came the royal guards, and behind them, a man stepped into the ballroom. Elena's breath caught. She knew immediately. Nobody had to tell her. King Adrian Blackwood. He was taller than she expected, much taller. Broad shoulders stretched beneath a perfectly fitted black formal suit. His thick black-brown hair was slightly messy, as if he had run his fingers through it repeatedly. His sharp jaw made him look almost carved from stone, but it was his eyes that stopped Elena from breathing. Deep, golden eyes. Cold, intense, predatory. The kind of eyes that made people instinctively lower their gaze. The entire room bowed. Elena hesitated. Then she quickly lowered her head. She could feel the presence of the Alpha King even without looking at him. Power seemed to follow him. It filled the room. For some reason, Elena's heart began beating faster. She didn't understand why. Adrian walked forward. His expression remained emotionless. People bowed as he passed. Alphas greeted him. Royal officials stepped forward. Sabrina's father approached with a nervous smile. "Your Majesty." "It is an honor." Adrian gave him a brief nod. "Congratulations." "Thank you." The older man looked delighted. Then he glanced toward Sabrina. "My daughter has been looking forward to meeting you." Adrian's eyes moved toward the bride. Sabrina immediately smiled. She looked radiant, confident. Exactly like a woman who believed she belonged beside a king. Elena watched from the side. She didn't know why, but something inside her felt strange. The moment Adrian looked toward Sabrina, his expression didn't change. Nothing. No reaction. No spark. No recognition. Then Adrian's head turned slightly. His eyes moved across the ballroom and stopped. Elena froze. Their eyes met. The world disappeared. At first, Elena couldn't understand what had happened. The music seemed to fade. The voices vanished. The crowd disappeared. There was only him and her. Adrian stared at Elena as if he had just seen a ghost. Something inside his chest slammed against his ribs. His wolf rose violently. "Mate." The word thundered through his mind. Mate. 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 For 20 years, Adrian's wolf had been silent. It had rejected every woman, every potential Luna, every alliance his council had proposed. Nothing. No spark. No pull. No recognition. Until now. The scent hit him again. Warm, sweet, familiar. Impossible. His wolf practically clawed against his skin. Find her. Adrian took one step forward. Elena's heart raced. Why was he looking at her? She quickly glanced behind herself. Maybe someone was standing there, but nobody was. When she looked back, Adrian was still staring at her. His golden eyes seemed brighter. Elena felt something strange in her chest. A pull. A warmth. Like invisible fingers were reaching through the distance between them. She stepped backward. Adrian stepped forward. One step, then another. The crowd noticed. Whispers began. Where is he going? Is he coming toward Sabrina? He must be. Sabrina smiled. She straightened her shoulders. She clearly believed the king was approaching her. But Adrian walked past her. Sabrina's smile disappeared. The room fell silent. Adrian kept walking. Past the bride, past the groom, past the royal council, straight toward Elena. Elena's heart hammered. No, she whispered. He stopped in front of her. Up close, he was even more intimidating. His golden eyes searched her face. Elena swallowed. Your Majesty! Adrian didn't answer. He seemed almost stunned. His wolf was screaming inside him. Her. It was her. The missing piece. The woman he had been searching for without knowing her face. Elena looked into his eyes. Something inside her broke open. A rush of warmth flooded through her body. Her breath caught. Adrian reached for her. His hand touched her waist. Elena gasped. Then he pulled her closer. Before she could understand what he was doing, his lips met hers. The kiss was brief, but it changed everything. A wave of power exploded through the ballroom. Every candle flame flickered. Every wolf in the room felt the impact of the mate bond. Elena's eyes widened. She pushed lightly against his chest. Adrian pulled away. They stared at each other. Neither spoke. Then, "You kissed the wrong woman!" Sabrina's scream tore through the ballroom. Everyone turned. The bride stood frozen in her wedding dress, tears of humiliation shining in her blue eyes. Guests gasped. Someone dropped a glass. A royal elder whispered something to another. Elena's face burned. She looked at Adrian, then at Sabrina, then at the hundreds of people staring at her. "This isn't right," she whispered. Adrian's hand remained around her waist. Sabrina marched toward them. "Your Majesty, she isn't the woman you were supposed to choose." Adrian slowly turned his head. His golden eyes hardened. The entire room waited. Elena's heart pounded. She expected him to apologize. She expected him to release her. She expected him to realize that everyone had been right. He had made a mistake. But Adrian looked back at Elena, and something in his expression changed. The coldness disappeared. There was certainty in his eyes, possession, recognition, something far deeper than attraction. "No." The room became completely silent. Adrian pulled Elena closer. "I didn't kiss the wrong woman." Sabrina's face went pale. Adrian looked directly at her, then at the crowd, then back at Elena. His voice echoed through the ballroom. "I finally found the right one." Elena stopped breathing. Adrian's golden eyes began to glow. Then he spoke the words that would change the kingdom forever. "She is my mate." A collective gasp erupted. Elena shook her head. "No!" Adrian frowned. She looked at him desperately. "You have the wrong woman." For the first time, the ruthless Alpha King looked genuinely confused. "What? I don't belong here." She pointed toward Sabrina. "She does." Adrian stared at her. Then he stepped closer. His voice became low enough that only Elena could hear. "My wolf has been searching for you for 20 years. Elena's eyes widened. "What?" "My wolf has rejected every woman who came near me." He gently lifted her chin. "But the moment I saw you," his golden eyes flashed. "He recognized you." Elena couldn't speak. She didn't understand. She couldn't understand. Because she was Elena Vale, the girl nobody noticed. The girl who had spent 25 years standing behind someone else. The girl who had never shifted. The girl who had never been important. The girl who had always been told she was ordinary. And yet the most powerful wolf in the world was looking at her as though she were the one person he had spent his entire life trying to find. Then, from the far end of the ballroom, a man watched the scene without saying a word. Damon Cross. His silver-gray eyes were fixed on Elena. Unlike everyone else, he wasn't shocked. He wasn't confused. He wasn't surprised. He looked afraid, because he knew something the king didn't, something Elena didn't know, something the entire kingdom had forgotten. Damon whispered under his breath. The king didn't choose the wrong woman. His eyes narrowed. He found her. He watched Elena standing beside Adrian, then he smiled coldly. The last moonblood heir. And in that moment, Elena's old life ended, because the girl nobody noticed had finally been seen, by the one man powerful enough to protect her, and by the one enemy powerful enough to destroy her. The silence after Adrian's declaration was more frightening than any scream. "She is my mate." The words seemed to hang in the air long after he had spoken them. Elena could hear her own heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. It was so loud that she was certain everyone in the ballroom could hear it. Hundreds of eyes were fixed on her. Some were filled with shock, others with jealousy, a few with fear. But the eyes that frightened Elena the most were those of the bride. Sabrina stood several feet away, completely motionless. Her wedding veil had slipped slightly from her hair. One hand was clenched around the fabric of her dress. She stared at Elena as if she had suddenly become a stranger. Then Sabrina's eyes filled with tears. "You," her voice cracked. "You took him from me." Elena's heart sank. "I didn't." "You did." Sabrina's voice echoed through the ballroom. Several guests lowered their heads, uncomfortable. Elena shook her head. "I didn't do anything." "You knew he was coming." "No, you knew." "I didn't even know he would be here." Sabrina stared at her. For a moment, Elena thought she might slap her, but Adrian stepped forward. His presence immediately changed the atmosphere. "Enough." One word. That was all it took. Sabrina stopped. The Alpha King looked at her with cold, golden eyes. "This has nothing to do with what she did." Sabrina swallowed. "But this is my wedding." "I know. And you came here—" Her voice trembled. "You came here for me." Adrian's expression remained unreadable. "I came because I was invited." The answer crushed whatever hope remained on Sabrina's face. A murmur moved through the crowd. Elena wished she could disappear. She wanted to return to her room. She wanted to wake up and discover that none of this had happened. Instead, she was standing beside the most powerful alpha in the kingdom while everyone stared at her. Adrian turned toward Elena. "Come with me." Elena blinked. "What?" "We need to talk." "Here?" "No." He extended his hand. Elena stared at it. She didn't take it. "I can't." Adrian's brows lowered. "Why?" "Because—" She glanced around. "Everyone is watching. They'll continue watching. That isn't helping." For the first time, something almost resembling amusement flickered across Adrian's face. But it disappeared quickly. "Elena." The way he said her name made her stomach twist. She looked at him. "How do you know my name?" I asked. "When?" "Before I walked toward you." Elena frowned. That answer only created more questions. Adrian held out his hand again. "Please." The word surprised her. A king saying please? She hesitated. Then she slowly placed her hand in his. The moment their skin touched, warmth rushed through her body. Adrian felt it too. His fingers tightened around hers. His wolf stirred. "Mate." The word echoed inside him again. Elena quickly pulled her hand away. "I don't understand what is happening to me." Adrian looked at her. "Neither do I." That answer frightened her even more, because if the Alpha King didn't understand what was happening, who did? Adrian led Elena through a private corridor. The royal guards followed several steps behind. The moment the ballroom doors closed, the noise became distant. Elena finally breathed. She leaned against the wall. "This is insane." Adrian stopped. "Yes." She looked at him. "You agree?" "I do." Elena stared. He seemed surprisingly calm. "How can you be calm?" "I'm not." "You look calm." "That's because I've spent most of my life hiding what I feel." Elena looked at him carefully. For the first time, she noticed the exhaustion beneath his eyes. He didn't look like the terrifying king everyone described. He looked like a man who had just discovered something he had been searching for his entire life. But Elena couldn't let herself become distracted. "You said I'm your mate." "Yes." "What exactly does that mean?" Adrian was silent for a moment. "It means our wolves recognize each other." "And that's enough?" "For a werewolf." The mate bond is powerful. Powerful enough to make you kiss a stranger? His jaw tightened. I didn't plan to kiss you, but you did. Yes. Why? My wolf took over. Elena stared. That sounds dangerous. It can be. She took a step backward. Adrian noticed. You're afraid of me. I don't know you. You will. How can you be so sure? Because the bond will bring us together. Elena shook her head. That isn't an answer. Adrian studied her. She wasn't behaving like the women who usually approached him. Most of them wanted his attention, his crown, his power, his position. Elena seemed desperate to escape all three. You really don't know anything about the royal world, he said. No? Werewolves? I know what everyone knows. Mate bonds? No. Your own family? Elena's expression changed. What about my family? Adrian hesitated. Nothing. You were about to say something. I need to investigate first. Investigate what? Your background. Elena folded her arms. Why? Because something about you doesn't make sense. She frowned. What doesn't make sense? Your scent. My scent? Yes. Adrian stepped closer. There is something underneath it. Elena became uncomfortable. What? I don't know. He looked frustrated. My wolf recognizes you, but your scent is… He paused. Different. Different how? Ancient. Elena laughed nervously. That's impossible. Is it? She didn't answer. Before Adrian could continue, footsteps approached. A royal messenger bowed. Your Majesty. What? The council is waiting. Adrian's expression hardened. Tell them to wait longer. They insist. Then they can insist. The messenger swallowed. Yes, Your Majesty. He left. Elena stared at Adrian. You're really going to make an entire royal council wait because of me? Yes. Why? Because right now, you're more important. Her heart skipped. She quickly looked away. Don't say things like that. Why? Because I don't know whether you're saying them because of the mate bond. Adrian became still. Elena continued. What if you wouldn't want me if I wasn't your mate? He didn't answer immediately. Then he said quietly, I don't know. The honesty hurt, but somehow Elena appreciated it. Adrian continued. But I intend to find out. Back in the ballroom, Sabrina was no longer crying. She stood completely still while her father spoke to the council. This cannot be allowed. One of the elders nodded. The king cannot simply abandon the expected alliance. Another elder whispered. The bond is sacred. But the woman isn't even noble. That statement made Damon Cross look up. He had been standing silently near the rear of the ballroom. His silver-gray eyes remained fixed on the corridor where Elena had disappeared. She doesn't need to be noble, Damon said. The elders looked at him. Why? Damon smiled faintly. Because the king has already chosen her. Sabrina looked at him. Something about his expression unsettled her. Do you know her? Damon's eyes shifted toward Sabrina. No. It was a lie. He knew more than he intended to reveal. He knew the scent. He knew the ancient stories. And most importantly, he knew the name Moonblood. A bloodline that had disappeared decades ago. A bloodline that was believed to have been destroyed. A bloodline powerful enough to challenge the throne. Damon had spent years searching for its last surviving heir, and now she had walked directly into his hands. He smiled. The king thought he had found his mate. But Damon knew better. Adrian had found something far more dangerous. Elena finally returned to the ballroom several minutes later. Adrian remained beside her. The moment they entered, every conversation stopped. Elena felt hundreds of eyes turn toward her. She wanted to hide. Adrian noticed. You don't have to look at them. How am I supposed not to? Look at me. She did. His golden eyes held hers. Better? She nodded. A little. A royal elder approached. Your Majesty. Adrian's expression hardened. What? The elder bowed. The council requests that the woman undergo a bloodline examination. Elena's heart sank. A what? A simple ceremony. No. Adrian's answer came instantly. The elder looked surprised. Your Majesty, if she is truly your mate. I said no. The elder bowed. As you command. He left. Elena looked at Adrian. Why did you refuse? Because I don't know what they'll find. That answer frightened her. What do you mean? Adrian's eyes narrowed. I don't know. That night, Elena returned home. She expected anger. She expected accusations. She expected Sabrina to scream at her. Instead, the house was strangely quiet. Too quiet. She walked into the hallway. Nobody stopped her. Nobody spoke. Her aunt was waiting near the staircase. Elena. She stopped. Yes? Her aunt looked terrified. Come with me. Why? Now. Elena followed her into a private sitting room. The door closed. Her aunt locked it. Elena frowned. What is happening? Her aunt stared at her. Did the king ask about your parents? Elena's stomach tightened. He asked about my family. What did you tell him? The truth. Her aunt looked away. Elena, what? You must never tell the king everything. Why? Because some truths are dangerous. Elena stared at her. What are you talking about? Her aunt's hands trembled. You are not ready. For what? Before her aunt could answer, someone knocked on the door. Both women froze. A man's voice came from outside. Your Majesty has requested a private meeting with Elena. Her aunt's face went pale. Elena stared at the door. The king? Here? At this hour? She opened the door. A royal guard stood outside. His Majesty requests your presence at the palace. Elena looked back at her aunt. Her aunt whispered, Don't go. Elena frowned. Why? Her aunt didn't answer. The guard waited. Elena slowly stepped into the hallway, and behind her, her aunt whispered words Elena wasn't supposed to hear. Please don't let them find out who you are. The royal carriage carried Elena through the sleeping city. She stared through the window. The moon was bright above the rooftops. She couldn't stop thinking about her aunt's warning. Who was she? Why was everyone suddenly afraid of her? And why did Adrian's wolf recognize her? When the carriage finally reached the palace, Elena stepped outside. The enormous gates opened. She walked inside. A servant led her through several corridors. Finally, the doors to Adrian's private study opened. He stood near the window. He turned. You came. You asked me to. Yes. Elena stepped inside. What did you discover? Adrian didn't answer immediately. He walked toward a large table covered with documents. I sent royal investigators to examine your family records. Elena's heart tightened. And? They found almost nothing. What does that mean? Your birth records are missing. Elena stared at him. What? Everything surrounding your birth has been erased. Her mouth went dry. That can't be true. It is. Maybe the records were lost. No. Adrian's voice was firm. They weren't lost. He held up an old document. They were deliberately removed. Elena stared at the paper. A cold feeling spread through her. Why would anyone do that? Adrian looked at her. I don't know. Then what do you know? He hesitated. Your guardians aren't telling me the truth. Elena's heart broke. My aunt? Yes. They raised me. I know. They love me. I don't doubt that. Then why would they lie? Adrian's gaze remained on her. Because they may have been protecting you. Elena shook her head. From what? Before Adrian could answer, Elena suddenly grabbed the edge of the table. Her vision blurred. She gasped. Adrian rushed toward her. Elena? She couldn't hear him. The room disappeared. She saw a forest, dark, cold, snow falling. A woman ran through the trees. She was carrying a baby. Elena watched helplessly. The woman looked over her shoulder. Her face was filled with fear. "Run!" Elena tried to move toward her. "Who are you?" The woman looked directly at her, and Elena recognized her own eyes. Hazel green. The vision shattered. Elena screamed. Adrian caught her before she fell. "Elena!" She opened her eyes. Tears ran down her cheeks. "I saw her." "Who?" "My mother." Adrian froze. "You've never seen her?" "I don't remember her. What did she look like?" Elena struggled to breathe. "She had my eyes." Adrian's expression changed. "What else?" "She was running." "From whom?" "I don't know." Elena closed her eyes. Then she heard something. A howl. Not outside. Inside her. A deep, ancient wolf calling her name. Elena opened her eyes. "Do you hear that?" Adrian stared at her. "Hear what?" She turned toward the window. "The wolf." Adrian's face went pale. "What wolf?" "I don't know." The howl came again. Louder. Closer. Elena's hands began to tremble. Then silver light appeared beneath her skin. Adrian stepped backward. "What is happening?" Elena looked at her hands. "I don't know." The light vanished. Silence returned. Adrian stared at her. For the first time since he had met her, the Alpha King looked genuinely afraid. The next morning, Damon Cross stood in a hidden chamber beneath the eastern wing of the palace. An old book lay open before him. The pages were yellow with age. A symbol had been carved into the center, a crescent moon surrounded by a silver wolf. Damon touched it. "She has awakened." A shadow moved behind him. "Are you certain?" Damon nodded. "I felt it." "What will the king do?" "He'll protect her. And if he discovers the truth," Damon smiled, "he will try to." The shadow stepped closer. "Can the moonblood be controlled?" Damon's smile disappeared. "No." "Then how do we stop her?" Damon looked toward the ancient prophecy. His eyes darkened. "We don't stop her." He turned the page. "We make her choose us." Meanwhile, in the royal palace, Elena stood before a mirror. She barely recognized herself. Her hair was still chestnut brown. Her skin was still fair. Her hazel green eyes looked the same. Yet something inside her had changed. She placed a hand against the glass. A strange warmth spread through her palm. Then, for one brief second, her reflection's eyes changed. Silver and gold. Elena stumbled backward. "No!" The light disappeared. She stared at herself. Someone knocked. "Elena?" It was Adrian. She quickly wiped her tears. "Come in." The door opened. Adrian entered. He looked at her carefully. "You're different." Elena swallowed. "I don't know what's happening to me." "I know." "Do you?" He stepped closer. "No." She stared at him. "And that's what scares me." Adrian took her hand. His touch was gentle. "I won't let anyone hurt you." Elena looked into his golden eyes. "Even if I'm dangerous?" "Especially then." Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't know what I am." Adrian's expression softened. "Then we'll find out together." For the first time since the wedding, Elena felt something she hadn't expected. Safety. But neither of them noticed the figure watching from the shadows beyond the palace corridor. Damon Cross stood silently. His silver-gray eyes followed Elena, and he whispered the truth that would soon turn the entire kingdom upside down. The king thinks he found his mate. His smile was cold. He has no idea he found the last heir of the moonblood. Then he looked toward the ancient forest beyond the palace. And when the king learns what her blood can do, his eyes narrowed. He'll realize the woman he kissed may be the greatest threat his throne has ever faced. But Damon was wrong about one thing. Elena was not the only person hiding a secret. Because deep inside Adrian's own wolf, something ancient had awakened too. And that wolf knew exactly who Elena was. The question was, why had it waited 20 years to find her? And why had it begun whispering the same terrifying word again and again? War. The moon outside suddenly turned crimson. Elena woke from a violent vision. A woman's voice echoed inside her mind. "Find me before they do," she gasped. Then another voice answered. A voice she had never heard before. A voice that sounded exactly like her own. "They already know where you are!" Elena's eyes snapped open, and somewhere far beyond the palace walls, something howled. Something ancient. Something that had been waiting for her birth. Something that had finally found her. The king's supposed mistake was no mistake at all. It was the beginning of a war. The words followed Elena long after the crimson moon disappeared. "They already know where you are." She sat upright in Adrian's private chambers, breathing heavily, one hand pressed against her chest. The room was dark except for the faint silver light entering through the enormous windows. Adrian was standing beside the balcony doors. His golden eyes were fixed on her. "Elena." She looked at him. "What happened?" She swallowed. "I heard her again." "Your mother?" Elena nodded. Adrian immediately crossed the room. "What did she say?" Elena hesitated. "She told me to find her before they do." Adrian's expression hardened. "Who is they?" "I don't know." "Did she say anything else?" Elena shook her head. "No." Adrian crouched beside her. "Look at me." She did. "You're safe." Elena gave a nervous laugh. "Am I?" "Yes." "How can you promise that when you don't even know what I'm becoming?" Adrian's jaw tightened. "Because nobody will touch you while I'm alive." The certainty in his voice made Elena's heart ache. She wanted to believe him, but there was something else she couldn't ignore. The voice had sounded like her own, and that terrified her more than anything. "Adrian?" "Yes?" "What am I?" He didn't answer. Not because he didn't want to, because he didn't know. And for the first time, Elena understood that the man everyone feared was facing something he couldn't control. Her. By morning, the royal palace was in chaos. The news of Elena's strange abilities had spread. Servants whispered in hallways. Warriors watched her carefully. Royal elders gathered behind closed doors. And rumors traveled faster than Elena could understand. Some said she was cursed. Others said she was a witch. One elder claimed she was carrying the spirit of an ancient wolf. Another insisted that Adrian's mate bond had been manipulated. Elena heard every whisper. She pretended not to, but they hurt. She had spent her entire life being treated as though she didn't matter. Now everyone suddenly cared about her. And somehow, that was worse. She stood before the mirror in a soft cream dress, staring at herself. Her reflection looked normal. Fair skin, chestnut brown hair, hazel green eyes. Nothing about her suggested danger. Nothing suggested royalty. Nothing suggested ancient blood. Yet she remembered the silver light beneath her skin. She remembered the vision, the woman carrying a baby through the snow. Her mother. Elena touched her reflection. "Who were you?" A knock came. She turned. Adrian entered. He wore a dark royal jacket over a black shirt, his golden eyes serious. "The council wants to see you." Elena's stomach tightened. "Why?" "They want answers." "I don't have any." "I know." "Then why do they want me there?" "Because they're afraid." "Of me? Of what you might become?" Elena looked away. Adrian stepped closer. "You don't have to face them alone." She looked at him. "You're coming? I'll be beside you. Even if they accuse me? Especially then." She smiled faintly. "Why are you always so certain?" "Because someone has to be." The royal council chamber was enormous. 12 elders sat around a circular table. Each wore the silver crest of the kingdom. Elena stood in the center. Adrian stood beside her. The oldest elder, Lord Theron, stared at her for a long time. "Place your hand on the stone." Elena looked at the object on the table. It was a smooth black crystal. "What is it?" "A truth stone." "And what does it do?" "It reveals the nature of your wolf." Elena hesitated. Adrian's voice was calm. "You don't have to." The council immediately objected. "She must. She is a potential threat." "She has already demonstrated abnormal power." Adrian's eyes flashed. "Enough!" The room fell silent. He looked at Elena. "The choice is yours." Elena stared at the stone. Then she slowly reached toward it. The moment her fingers touched the crystal, nothing happened. A few elders exchanged relieved looks. Then, the stone cracked. A silver-gold light burst from the center. The entire chamber shook. Several elders stood. Adrian stepped in front of Elena, but the light didn't attack. It surrounded her. It wrapped around her body like moonlight. Elena gasped. Her eyes changed. Silver, then gold, then both colors at once. Every wolf in the chamber dropped to one knee. Adrian's wolf bowed inside him. Elena stared around in horror. "What is happening?" Lord Theron couldn't speak. His hands trembled. "Impossible," another elder whispered. "Moonlight." Theron looked at Adrian. "Your Majesty." Adrian's voice was cold. "Tell me." The elder swallowed. "That power hasn't been seen in centuries." Elena's heart pounded. "What power?" Theron looked at her. "The power of the first blood." Adrian's expression changed. "What are you saying?" Theron slowly rose. "The ancient moonblood." Silence. Elena frowned. "What is moonblood?" Nobody answered. She looked from one elder to another. "What is moonblood?" Finally, Theron spoke. "An ancient bloodline believed to have vanished 25 years ago." Elena's breath stopped. 25 years? "Yes. My age." Theron nodded. Adrian's eyes narrowed. "You believe Elena is moonblood?" "I don't believe it." Theron looked at the glowing stone. "I know it." The council chamber erupted. Questions came from every direction. How did she survive? Who hid her? Where was she born? Who are her parents? Adrian raised his hand. Silence returned. He looked at Theron. "Explain everything." The elder hesitated. The Moonblood line existed before the modern royal families. What made them different? They were not ordinary werewolves. Elena listened carefully. They could communicate with ancient wolves. They could influence the moon's energy. They could heal wounds that ordinary wolves could not. Adrian's eyes narrowed. And why were they feared? Theron looked toward Elena. Because their power could challenge an Alpha King's authority. Elena stepped forward. So people tried to destroy them. Yes. Why? Because a prophecy predicted that one day a Moonblood heir would be born. Theron took a deep breath. That heir would possess enough power to either save the kingdom or destroy the throne. Elena felt cold. What happened to my family? We don't know. You said the bloodline disappeared 25 years ago. Yes. And I'm 25. Yes. Then my mother. Theron lowered his eyes. May have been the last known moonblood before you. Elena's chest tightened. May have been? No body was ever found. Adrian looked sharply at him. You're saying Elena's mother could still be alive? We don't know. Elena's hands began shaking. The vision returned. Her mother running through the snow. The baby in her arms. The fear in her eyes. Elena whispered, "She is alive." Everyone looked at her. Adrian stepped closer. "How do you know?" "I saw her." "When?" "Last night." Theron stared. "Through a vision?" Elena nodded. The elder looked terrified. "That shouldn't be possible." Why? Because visions of the bloodline usually appear only after the heir awakens. Elena frowned. I have awakened. Theron nodded. And that means what? The elder's voice became quiet. It means your power is no longer sleeping. Later that afternoon, Elena walked through the royal library with Adrian. Thousands of ancient books filled the walls. Adrian had ordered every record concerning the moonblood brought to the library. Elena ran her fingers along the spines. So much history. Most of it is incomplete. Why? Because someone removed pages from the royal archives. Elena looked at him. Who? We don't know. She pulled out an old book. Its cover was marked with a silver crescent. When she opened it, the pages immediately began turning by themselves. Elena froze. Adrian stepped closer. The pages stopped on a particular drawing. A woman stood beneath a silver moon. Her eyes were glowing. Beside her stood an Alpha King. Elena stared. The woman's face looked strangely familiar. What is this? Adrian read the inscription. The Moonblood Queen and the first Alpha King. Elena frowned. Queen? Yes. So the Moonblood wasn't always considered dangerous? No. Adrian turned another page. There were several drawings. Moonblood wolves standing beside royal alphas. Moonblood women healing wounded warriors. Moonblood children being trained beside royal heirs. Then the pages changed. War. Fire. Blood. The Moonblood wolves were being hunted. Elena's stomach turned. Why did they become enemies? Adrian read the final inscription. Because the royal line feared what would happen if a Moonblood heir was born stronger than the king. Elena stared at him. So they were betrayed. Yes, and my family paid the price. Adrian closed the book. I think so. Elena looked at him. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because whoever hid you wanted you to survive. She shook her head. I spent my entire life thinking I was ordinary. Adrian's expression softened. Maybe that was the point. Elena looked away. I don't know if I want this. What? This power. She looked at her hands. People are afraid of me. They're afraid of what they don't understand. What if I become dangerous? You won't. How do you know? Adrian stepped closer. Because I know you. Elena looked at him. You've known me for 2 days. It feels longer. She smiled despite herself. He smiled too. For a moment, the palace disappeared. There was only them. Then Elena asked the question she had been afraid to ask. What happens if I reject you? Adrian became still. You can. She looked surprised. I can. Yes. What happens to you? He didn't answer immediately. Elena's voice softened. Adrian, my wolf would suffer. How much? He looked away. If the bond is completely severed. He stopped. What? It could destroy him. Elena's face went pale. Destroy? Yes. She stepped backward. Then you don't really have a choice. Adrian looked at her. I do. But if I reject you, I said I have a choice. You could die. Possibly. Elena's eyes filled with tears. Why would you accept that? Adrian moved closer. Because I won't make you stay with me because you're afraid I'll die. She stared at him. You really mean that? Yes. He gently touched her cheek. I want you to choose me. Her heart raced. Not because of the mate bond, because she believed him. That evening, Elena experienced another vision. This time she was standing inside an ancient temple. The walls were covered with silver symbols. A woman stood before a giant moonstone, her mother. Elena stepped toward her. Who are you? The woman turned. Elena. Tears filled Elena's eyes. Mother? The woman smiled sadly. I don't have much time. Where are you? Far away. Why did you leave me? I didn't leave you, Elena cried. Then why wasn't I with you? To protect you. From Damon? The woman's expression changed. How do you know that name? Elena froze. You know him? Yes. Who is he? Her mother stepped closer. He was one of the men who hunted us. Elena's heart pounded. Is he still alive? The woman looked frightened. Yes. Then the temple began shaking. Her mother looked over her shoulder. They found me. Who? The same people who are looking for you. Mother, listen to me. Her voice became urgent. Never let them take your blood. Elena shook her head. What does my blood do? Her mother whispered. It can awaken the first wolf. What first wolf? But the vision shattered. Elena woke screaming. Adrian was beside her immediately. Elena! She grabbed his arm. My mother! What happened? She knows Damon. Adrian's expression darkened. What else? She said they hunted our family. Who? I don't know. She said something about my blood. Adrian's eyes narrowed. What did she say? Elena swallowed. It can awaken the first wolf. Adrian went completely still. What? You know what that means? No. His voice was too quiet, and that frightened Elena. Meanwhile, deep beneath the palace, Damon stood before an ancient sealed door. He placed his hand against it. A faint golden symbol appeared. The door trembled. Soon, he whispered. Behind him, a shadow approached. The girl knows about her blood. Damon turned. How much? She knows her mother is alive. Damon's expression hardened. That changes everything. What will you do? Damon smiled. Nothing. The shadow looked confused. Nothing? Not yet. Damon looked toward the sealed door. Let the king protect her. Why? Because the more the king trusts her, his smile widened, the more devastating it will be when he learns what her blood can truly do. The following morning, the royal palace held an emergency council. Every major alpha in the kingdom had been summoned. Elena entered beside Adrian. The room immediately fell silent. Nobody dared insult her openly now, but she could feel their fear. Adrian took his seat. Elena stood beside him. Lord Theron approached. There is one final test. Adrian's eyes narrowed. No, we need certainty. We already have it. Your Majesty, the Moonblood prophecy is dangerous. Elena looked at Theron. What does the prophecy actually say? The elder hesitated. Then he opened an ancient scroll. The heir will be born beneath the moonless sky. Elena listened. She will walk beside the king. Her eyes widened. And she will either... Theron paused. Destroy him. The room became silent. Elena looked at Adrian. He didn't move. The elder continued. Or save him. A chill passed through Elena. That's the prophecy? Yes. Then why does everyone fear me? Theron looked at her. Because nobody knows which path you will choose. Elena's eyes began glowing. I choose neither. The room shook. What? I won't destroy anyone. Her voice grew stronger. And I won't let anyone use me to save a throne I didn't ask for. The silver gold light spread through the chamber. Every wolf felt it. Adrian stared at Elena. His wolf bowed. Not because she was his mate, because something inside him recognized her power. Elena looked at her glowing hands. Then she heard the ancient wolf again. This time, it didn't howl. It spoke. Daughter of the moon, Elena gasped. Adrian stepped toward her. Elena? The voice continued. Your blood remembers what the kingdom forgot. The room went silent. Elena looked at the elders. What did the kingdom forget? Nobody answered. Then the oldest elder slowly dropped to his knees. His face had gone white. Your Majesty! Adrian looked at him. What? The elder bowed his head. She isn't simply the last Moonblood heir. Adrian's expression hardened. Then what is she? The elder looked directly at Elena. She is the blood of the first queen. Elena's heart stopped. The elder whispered the words that would change everything. And if the ancient records are correct, he looked at Adrian. She has a greater claim to the throne than anyone in this room. Suddenly, every candle in the council chamber went out. A violent howl echoed through the palace. Then the ancient moonstone shattered. Elena screamed as silver gold light exploded from her body. And somewhere beneath the palace, something enormous opened its eyes. Something that had been asleep for centuries. Something that recognized her blood. Something that had been waiting for the last Moonblood heir to return. Adrian grabbed Elena and pulled her against his chest. "Stay with me!" She clung to him, but the voice inside her head spoke again. This time, it was unmistakable. "The first wolf has awakened." Elena's eyes flashed silver and gold, and beneath the palace floor, something ancient began to rise. The elders stared in horror. Damon smiled from the shadows, because the secret in Elena's blood was no longer a secret, and the Alpha King was about to discover that his mate was not merely a hidden heir. She was the one being the ancient kingdom had spent 25 years trying to bury. The first thing Elena heard was the heartbeat. Not hers. Something much larger. Something impossibly ancient. Thud. The palace floor trembled. Thud. Dust fell from the ceiling. Thud. Every wolf in the council chamber froze. Elena was still in Adrian's arms, her fingers gripping the front of his black jacket. She could feel his heart racing. For the first time since she had met him, the Alpha King looked genuinely terrified. Not for himself, for her. "Get everyone out," Adrian ordered. The royal guards immediately moved. "Your Majesty, now!" His alpha command exploded through the chamber. Every werewolf in the room instinctively bowed. The elders hurried toward the doors. Elena remained frozen. Another tremor shook the palace. The massive crystal windows rattled. A crack appeared across one of them. Elena looked down. A faint silver-gold glow still pulsed beneath her skin. "What did I do?" Adrian grabbed her shoulders. "You didn't do anything." But something woke up. Yes. What? I don't know. Another tremor. This time, the floor split several feet away. Elena screamed. Adrian immediately pulled her behind him. "Stay behind me. What is down there?" "I don't know." "But you said—" "I know what I said." He turned toward the guards. "Seal the eastern wing." A captain bowed. "Yes, Your Majesty." "Send warriors to every entrance." "Yes." "And nobody goes below the palace." The captain hesitated. "Your Majesty, if something is down there—" "I said nobody goes below." The captain bowed. "Yes, Your Majesty." Elena stared at Adrian. "Why?" He looked at her. "Because I think whatever is down there has been waiting for you." Her blood ran cold. The council chamber emptied. Only Adrian, Elena, Lord Theron, and 3 royal guards remained. The ancient elder stared at the cracked floor. His face was pale. "You knew," Adrian said. Theron looked up. "Knew what?" "That something was beneath the palace." Theron didn't answer. Adrian stepped toward him. "You knew." The elder swallowed. "I suspected. You've been hiding information from me." "I was trying to protect the kingdom." Adrian's eyes flashed gold. "From what?" Theron looked at Elena. "From her." Elena flinched. Adrian stepped between them. "Choose your next words carefully." The elder lowered his voice. "Your Majesty, the first wolf was not simply a creature. What was it?" "A guardian." Elena frowned. "A guardian of what?" "The moon bloodline." Adrian stared at him. Theron continued. "Long before the royal families ruled this kingdom, the Moonbloods protected the ancient wolf. Why? Because they were the only bloodline capable of communicating with it." Elena looked at her hands. "So it recognizes me?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because you are the last living descendant." Adrian's expression hardened. And what happens now that it has awakened? Theron hesitated. That depends on her. Elena looked at him. On me? Yes. What am I supposed to do? Control it. How? The elder looked toward the cracked floor. That is what we don't know. Another tremor shook the room. This time, the sound came with a deep growl. Elena felt something inside her respond. Her wolf stirred. She grabbed her chest. Adrian! He immediately turned toward her. What? I can feel it. What? The wolf. Her eyes widened. It's calling me. Adrian stepped closer. What is it saying? Elena closed her eyes. The growl became clearer. Then a voice formed inside her mind. Come below. Elena's eyes snapped open. No! Adrian frowned. What? It wants me to go below the palace. Absolutely not. But, no. He took her hand. You're not going anywhere near that thing. Elena looked at him. What if it knows the truth about my mother? Adrian stopped. That possibility silenced him. Elena continued. My mother told me they were coming for me. You think the wolf can lead us to her? I don't know. Adrian looked at Theron. Can it? The elder nodded slowly. It may be able to. Adrian closed his eyes. For several seconds he said nothing. Then he looked at Elena. We go together. Theron immediately objected. Your Majesty, you said it depends on her. Yes. Then I'm going with her. Elena stared at him. You don't have to. I know. Then why? Adrian's eyes softened. Because you're my mate. Elena looked away. He added quietly, and because I promised you nobody would hurt you. The entrance to the underground chamber was hidden beneath the oldest part of the palace. Adrian led Elena down a narrow stone staircase. 2 royal warriors followed behind them. Torches burned along the walls. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Elena wrapped her arms around herself. You're cold. Adrian removed his black royal coat and placed it around her shoulders. She looked at him. You'll be cold. I'll survive. She smiled faintly. That's what kings always say? No. Then what do kings usually say? They usually don't walk into ancient underground chambers with their mates. Despite everything, Elena laughed. It was a small sound, but Adrian smiled. For a moment, the fear disappeared. Then they reached the bottom. A massive stone door stood before them. It was covered with the same silver crescent symbol Elena had seen in the ancient book. Her hand began glowing. Adrian noticed. Elena. She stepped closer. The symbol responded. Silver light spread across the door. A low rumble filled the chamber. The stone doors slowly opened. Everyone froze. Beyond them was a massive underground hall. The walls were covered with ancient paintings, moonblood warriors, ancient wolves, royal kings, and at the center of the largest painting stood a woman with hazel green eyes. Elena stared. That, Adrian moved beside her. Your ancestor? Elena shook her head. No. She stepped closer. That's my mother. Adrian's eyes widened. How? I don't know. The painting showed Elena's mother standing beside an enormous silver wolf. Above them was a moon. But the moon had no light. It was black. Beneath the painting were words written in ancient script. Theron stepped forward. His face changed when he read them. What does it say? Adrian demanded. The elder's voice trembled. The Moonblood Queen will give birth to the final heir beneath the moonless sky. Elena's breath caught. When? Theron looked at her. 25 years ago. Silence. Elena's knees almost gave way. So this was planned. Yes. Who knew? We don't know. Adrian stared at the painting. Then he noticed something. There was another figure. A man standing behind Elena's mother. His face had been scratched away. Adrian's expression darkened. Who is that? Theron looked. I don't know. Elena stepped closer. Something about the figure felt familiar. Then she noticed the ring on his hand, a silver ring with a black stone. Her breath caught. I've seen that. Adrian turned. Where? At home. Whose? My aunt's. Adrian's face hardened. Your aunt? Elena nodded. She has a ring like that. Theron stepped backward. That is impossible. Why? Because that symbol belonged to the order that hunted the Moonblood. Elena's heart stopped. My aunt? Adrian looked at her. We're going back. But before they could leave, the chamber shook. A deep growl echoed through the darkness. The guards drew their swords. Adrian shifted his stance. Stay behind me. Elena looked toward the far end of the chamber. Two enormous golden eyes opened. The guards froze. The creature stepped forward. It was a wolf, but not like any wolf Elena had ever seen. It was enormous. Its fur was silver white, almost glowing. Its shoulders reached above the heads of the guards. Its eyes were golden, ancient, powerful. Elena couldn't breathe. The wolf stared at her. Then it lowered its head. The guards stared in disbelief. The ancient guardian bowed. To Elena. Adrian's wolf reacted instantly. He nearly shifted. The presence was overwhelming. Elena stepped forward. Elena! Adrian grabbed her arm. She looked at him. It's not going to hurt me. You don't know that. I do. How? Because I can feel it. She gently pulled away, then walked toward the wolf. The creature lowered its head further. Elena reached out. Her fingers touched its forehead. A blinding light exploded. Elena screamed. She was no longer in the chamber. She was somewhere else. A battlefield. Snow covered the ground. Moonblood warriors were fighting. Fire burned behind them. Her mother was standing at the center. She was holding a baby. Elena, but she was younger. A man approached her mother. His face was hidden beneath a hood. Her mother stepped backward. You promised to protect her. The man answered. I changed my mind. Elena's mother looked terrified. You'll destroy the kingdom. No. The man removed his hood. Elena saw his face. Her blood ran cold. It was Damon. Young, but unmistakably Damon Cross. Her mother whispered, You betrayed us. Damon smiled. I liberated the kingdom from you. Then, the vision changed. Elena saw her mother handing the baby to another woman, her aunt. Take her. Where are you going? To lead them away. And if you don't return? Her mother kissed the baby. Tell her I never abandoned her. Then she ran into the forest. Damon followed. Elena screamed. No! The vision shattered. She collapsed. Adrian caught her. Elena! She opened her eyes. Tears streamed down her face. He killed them! Who? Damon? Adrian's expression changed. What did you see? My mother. She grabbed his jacket. Damon was there. Are you sure? Yes. What happened? He betrayed them. Adrian looked toward Theron. The elder's face was pale. We need to return to the palace. They barely made it halfway up the stairs before Elena stopped. Wait. Adrian turned. What? She was staring at the wall. There. A faint symbol had appeared. A handprint. Elena touched it. The stone opened. Behind it was a small chamber. Inside was a wooden box. Adrian opened it. There were documents, letters, photographs, and a small silver pendant. Elena recognized it immediately. My mother's. She picked it up. The moment she touched it, a voice whispered inside her mind. My little moon. Elena began crying. Mother. Adrian gently touched her shoulder. A letter lay beneath the pendant. It was addressed to Elena. Her hands trembled as she opened it. The first line read, If you are reading this, then the king has found you. Elena looked at Adrian. He stared at the letter. She continued, and if the king has found you, then the first wolf has awakened. Her hands shook. Do not trust the council. Adrian's expression darkened. Elena read the next line. Do not trust the royal bloodline. Adrian looked at her. Keep reading. She did. But most importantly, do not trust the man who claims he has been protecting you. Elena froze. Her eyes widened. Who? She read the final sentence. Your aunt has lied to you about why I disappeared. The letter slipped from Elena's hands. They returned to the palace just before dawn. Elena didn't speak. Adrian didn't either. Neither of them knew what to believe. Her entire life had suddenly become a collection of lies. Her mother, her aunt, the Moonblood, the king, Damon, everything she thought she knew was changing. When they reached the palace entrance, a servant rushed toward them. Your Majesty! Adrian stopped. What? The Queen Mother is waiting for you. I don't have time. She says it's urgent. Adrian's expression hardened. What happened? The servant swallowed. She found the woman. Elena stepped forward. What woman? The servant looked at her. Your mother. Elena stopped breathing. Adrian's eyes widened. Where? The servant pointed toward the western corridor. She was found inside the palace. Elena's heart raced. My mother? Yes. She ran. Adrian followed. They reached a private chamber. The door was open. A woman stood inside. Her back was turned. Elena stopped at the doorway. The woman's hair was long, chestnut brown. Her shoulders trembled. Elena's lips parted. Mom? The woman slowly turned. Hazel green eyes met Elena's. The same eyes, the same face. Older, tired, but unmistakable. Elena's knees weakened. Mother, the woman began crying. My little moon. Elena rushed toward her. They embraced. For a few seconds, Elena forgot everything. She had found her. Her mother was alive. But Adrian wasn't looking at the reunion. He was looking at the woman standing behind Elena's mother. A woman he had seen many times. Elena's aunt. Her face was pale, and in her hand was the silver and black ring from the painting. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Elena. She turned. What? He pointed. Ask your aunt where she got that ring. Elena looked at her aunt. Aunt Catherine. Her aunt said nothing. Elena stepped closer. Where did you get it? Her aunt's eyes filled with tears. Then she whispered the words that made Elena's blood run cold. I didn't steal it. Elena frowned. What? Her aunt looked at Elena's mother, then back at Elena. Your mother gave it to me. Silence. Elena stared. Why? Her aunt began crying. Because she knew I would have to betray you one day. Elena froze. Adrian immediately moved in front of her. What does that mean? Her aunt looked at him. It means the prophecy has already begun. Then every light in the palace went out. A roar shook the walls. The ancient wolf howled beneath the palace. Elena's mother suddenly grabbed her daughter. Run! Why? Her mother's eyes widened with terror. Because Damon has entered the palace. A slow clap echoed from the corridor. Once, twice, 3 times, Damon Cross stepped out of the darkness. His silver-gray eyes were glowing. He smiled. Hello, Elena. Adrian stepped in front of her. Damon's smile widened. You finally know who you are. He looked at Elena's mother. And now, his eyes shifted toward the ancient wolf beneath the palace. We can finish what we started 25 years ago. Elena's mother screamed, Don't let him take her. Damon lifted his hand. The entire palace shook, and beneath Elena's feet, the ancient wolf roared. Adrian shifted instantly, golden eyes blazing, fangs extending. Elena's own eyes turned silver and gold. Damon smiled. Let the war begin. Damon Cross's voice echoed through the dark palace. For one terrible second, nobody moved. Then Adrian shifted. Bones cracked. His body changed with frightening speed, black fur replacing skin as his alpha wolf emerged. His golden eyes burned through the darkness, and a vicious growl rolled from his chest. Elena's mother grabbed her daughter and pulled her backward. "Stay behind the king!" Elena barely heard her. She was staring at Damon, the man she had seen in her vision, the man who had hunted her family, the man who had apparently been waiting 25 years for her to awaken. Damon smiled. "You look exactly like her." Elena's mother stiffened. "Don't speak to my daughter." Damon laughed softly. Still protective, Adrian's wolf stepped forward. A deep growl shook the corridor. Damon didn't move. "You really should control your temper, Your Majesty." Adrian's claws dug into the marble floor. Damon looked amused. "You don't want to attack me here." Adrian shifted halfway back, his eyes remaining golden. "Give me one reason." Damon's smile faded. "Because if you kill me, you may never discover who ordered the wedding." Elena's heart stopped. "The wedding?" Damon looked directly at her. "Yes, the wedding was supposed to be mine?" "No." He smiled. "The wedding was never about Sabrina." Elena stared at him. "Then what was it about?" Damon's eyes darkened. "You." The word hit Elena like a physical blow. She shook her head. "No." "Yes." "Why would anyone plan a wedding around me?" "Because they needed the Alpha King in one place." Adrian's expression changed. Damon continued. "They needed you in the same room." Elena's mother whispered. "No." Damon looked at her. "You knew this day would come." Her mother's face crumbled. "I tried to stop it. You tried to hide her." "Yes. And you failed." Damon's voice became colder. "Just as I knew you would." Adrian stepped forward. "What was the purpose of the wedding?" Damon looked at him. "You really don't know?" "No." Damon laughed. "The great Alpha King, who supposedly sees everything, never realized his own court was planning his downfall." Adrian's jaw tightened. "Explain." Damon's gaze shifted toward Elena. "The wedding was designed to activate the Moonblood bond." Elena frowned. "What does that mean?" Damon answered calmly. "When a Moonblood heir reaches the age of awakening, the blood responds to the presence of the strongest alpha in the kingdom." Adrian looked at Elena. Damon smiled. "And who is stronger than you?" Nobody answered. Damon spread his hands. "You were the key." Elena's mother shook her head. "No, they weren't supposed to know where she was." Damon's eyes narrowed. "But someone told them." Silence. Elena slowly looked toward her aunt. Catherine stood near the wall. Her face was pale. Elena's voice trembled. "Was it you?" Her aunt immediately shook her head. "No." "Then who?" "I don't know." Damon laughed. "She doesn't know." Elena looked at him. "Then tell me." Damon stepped closer. "The person who exposed you is closer than you think." Adrian's eyes flashed. "Enough games." He lunged. Damon disappeared. A burst of black smoke exploded through the corridor. Adrian slammed into the wall. Elena screamed. "Adrian!" He pushed himself upright. Damon's voice echoed from somewhere in the darkness. "You're not ready for the truth, King." Then silence. The palace guards rushed into the corridor. "Your Majesty!" Adrian raised his hand. "Search every entrance." "Yes, Your Majesty." "Seal the palace." The guards moved immediately. Elena's mother was trembling. Adrian approached her. "You know who he is." She looked at him. "I know what he wants." "What?" She glanced at Elena, then lowered her voice. "He wants her blood." Adrian's expression hardened. "Why?" Her mother hesitated. "Because Elena is not simply a Moonblood." Elena looked at her. "What else am I?" Her mother closed her eyes. I was hoping you'd never have to know. Tell me. Her mother shook her head. Not here. Then where? Somewhere safe. Adrian looked toward the guards. There is nowhere safer than my palace. Elena's mother stared at him. That is exactly what worries me. Adrian frowned. What does that mean? Her mother stepped closer. The palace is where they plan to take her. Hours later, the royal council chamber was filled again. But this time, there was no celebration, no music, no flowers, no smiling guests, only fear. Adrian stood at the head of the table. Elena sat beside him. Her mother sat across from them. Catherine stood near the doorway. The elders watched in silence. Adrian spoke first. The wedding was a trap. Lord Theron nodded. We believe so. Who planned it? Nobody answered. Adrian's voice became colder. I asked a question. One elder swallowed. We don't know. Find out. We're trying. You've had 25 years. The elder lowered his head. Adrian looked around the table. Someone inside this kingdom knew Elena existed. His eyes narrowed. Someone inside this palace knew. Silence. Elena looked around the room. Every person seemed suspicious now. She hated it. Only days ago, she had believed the palace was a distant place that had nothing to do with her. Now she realized she had been surrounded by secrets her entire life. Adrian turned to his guards. Bring every record concerning the wedding. Minutes later, stacks of documents were placed on the table. Guest lists, invitation records, security plans, royal correspondence, financial records. Elena stared at them. Why would a wedding require this much security? Adrian picked up a document. It shouldn't. He read the guest list. Then his expression changed. What? Elena leaned closer. What is it? Adrian pointed to a name. Damon Cross was listed as a guest. Elena's blood went cold. He was invited? Yes. Her mother stood suddenly. No. Everyone looked at her. He was never invited. Adrian turned. What? Her mother shook her head. I saw the original guest list. She walked toward the table. Damon's name wasn't there. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Then how did he enter? Nobody answered. Elena whispered, Someone let him in. Adrian ordered the palace doors sealed. Nobody was allowed to leave. Nobody was allowed to enter. Every guest from the wedding was questioned. Servants, guards, pack leaders, royal officials. Even Sabrina. Elena watched from an adjoining room as Sabrina sat across from two royal investigators. Her former wedding dress had been replaced with a simple cream gown. She looked exhausted, but there was anger behind her eyes. One investigator asked, Did you know Damon Cross? Sabrina shook her head. No. Had you ever met him? No. Did you invite him? No. Did your father? I don't know. The investigator studied her. Did you know anything about Elena's identity before the wedding? Sabrina's eyes flickered. Elena noticed. The investigator noticed too. Answer the question. Sabrina looked away. I knew she was adopted. Elena's heart tightened. You knew? Sabrina nodded. My father told me. Did he tell you why? No. Did he tell you Elena was a moonblood? Sabrina hesitated. Then she whispered, No. It sounded like a lie. Elena stepped into the room. Sabrina looked up. Their eyes met. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Sabrina said, You think I did this? Elena shook her head. I don't know what to think. Sabrina laughed bitterly. Neither do I. Elena studied her. Were you ever supposed to marry Adrian? Sabrina looked shocked. No. But everyone expected it. That was my father's idea. Why? Sabrina's expression changed. He said marrying the Alpha King would protect our family. Elena frowned. From what? I don't know. Sabrina looked down. But after tonight, she swallowed. I think my father knew more than he told me. Elena felt a chill. Where is your father? Sabrina's face went pale. I don't know. Adrian's guard entered the room. Your Majesty. Adrian turned. What? We searched the bride's family residence. And? The guard hesitated. Her father is missing. That night, Elena couldn't sleep. She stood on the balcony overlooking the palace gardens. The moon was bright again, normal, peaceful. But Elena knew better now. Nothing was peaceful. Adrian stepped onto the balcony. You should rest. She smiled faintly. I'm trying. He stood beside her. For a while, neither spoke. Then Elena asked, Do you regret kissing me? Adrian looked at her. No. Even after everything? Especially after everything. She turned toward him. Why? Because I know now that you weren't brought into my life by accident. Elena lowered her eyes. What if I bring destruction with me? Then we'll face it. What if I destroy your kingdom? I'll rebuild it. She looked at him. And if I destroy you? Adrian stepped closer. You won't. How do you know? Because I trust you. Elena's eyes filled with tears. You barely know me. I know enough. He gently touched her cheek. You protect people even when it costs you. She looked down. You saw that? I noticed. She smiled. You're the first person who ever did. Adrian's expression softened. You were never invisible to me. Her heart skipped. For a moment, neither moved. Then Elena leaned forward. Their foreheads touched. I don't understand what is happening between us. Neither do I. But I don't want it to end. Adrian's hand tightened around hers. Neither do I. Then, a howl echoed through the palace. Elena pulled away. The ancient wolf. Again. But this time, it sounded afraid. Adrian's expression changed. That isn't a warning. What is it? A call. Elena's eyes widened. A call for what? Before Adrian could answer, every window in the palace shattered. Glass exploded inward. Guards rushed onto the balcony. Protect the king! Adrian pulled Elena behind him. A red symbol appeared across the night sky, the same symbol from the ancient prophecy. Elena's blood began glowing. No. Adrian grabbed her hand. What is happening? I don't know. The symbol pulsed. Once. Twice. Then a voice echoed throughout the palace. Moonblood air. Every wolf in the kingdom heard it. Elena froze. Come home. The palace shook. Adrian shifted. Who are you? The voice laughed. Ask your mother. Elena turned. Her mother was standing at the balcony entrance. Her face had gone white. Adrian looked at her. You know that voice. She didn't answer. You know who that is? Her mother whispered. Yes. Who? She looked at Elena, and then she said something that made Adrian's blood run cold. The first Alpha. Elena's mother was taken to a private room. Adrian followed. Elena refused to stay behind. Catherine followed them too. Once the door closed, Elena's mother finally spoke. The first Alpha was not a king. Adrian stared. What? He was something older. Older than the royal bloodline? Yes. What happened to him? Her mother looked toward Elena. We created the first werewolf bloodlines. Elena frowned. And the Moonblood? The Moonblood were his guardians. Adrian's eyes narrowed. So the ancient wolf beneath the palace was his wolf. Silence. Elena whispered, And it obeys me? It recognizes your blood. Why? Her mother looked devastated. Because I was supposed to kill it. Elena's eyes widened. What? Her mother continued. The Moonblood were not merely guardians. She looked at Adrian. They were prison keepers. Prison keepers? Yes. Who were they imprisoning? Her mother looked at the floor. The first Alpha. Adrian's expression changed. And the wolf beneath the palace? His spirit. Elena stepped backward. Then why did it awaken when I touched it? Her mother closed her eyes. Because your blood is the key. The room became silent. Elena's voice trembled. Key to what? Her mother whispered. To freeing him. Adrian immediately ordered the underground chamber sealed, but when they arrived, the ancient door was already open. The guards stood frozen. Nobody wanted to enter. Elena stared into the darkness. It's calling me. Adrian stepped in front of her. You're not going down there. But, no. The ancient wolf's voice echoed inside Elena's head. Come. She closed her eyes. I have to. Adrian looked at her. Why? Because I think my mother is wrong. Her mother looked at her. What? Elena stepped toward the chamber. I don't think it wants to be freed. Everyone stared. Then what does it want? Elena whispered. It wants to warn me. Inside the underground chamber, the ancient wolf was gone. Only the massive painting remained. But something had changed. The face of the mysterious man beside Elena's mother was no longer scratched away. Elena stared. Her breath stopped. It wasn't Damon. It was someone else. Someone she recognized. Adrian stepped beside her. Who is that? Elena couldn't speak. Her mother looked at the painting. Then she collapsed into a chair. No. Adrian turned. You know him. Her mother covered her face. He was the man who helped me escape. Who? She slowly looked up. Your father. Adrian froze. My father? Yes. Elena stared at the painting. Your father was helping my family? Her mother nodded. He discovered the truth about the royal bloodline. Adrian's voice became cold. What truth? He discovered that the wedding wasn't designed by Damon. Elena's heart dropped. Then who? Her mother looked directly at Adrian. The order came from inside the royal family. Adrian's face became unreadable. Who gave the order? Before she could answer, a sword pierced through her chest. Elena screamed. No! Her mother collapsed. Adrian caught her. Guards! The assassin vanished into the shadows. Elena dropped beside her mother. Mom! Her mother's blood covered Elena's hands. Her eyes opened weakly. She grabbed Elena's wrist. Don't what? Trust. Her eyes shifted toward Adrian, then toward the palace. The crown. Her hand fell. Elena screamed. Adrian stood slowly. His golden eyes burned with rage. Find the assassin! The guards rushed away. Elena stared at the blood on her hands. Something inside her broke. The silver-gold light returned. Stronger, much stronger. The entire underground chamber began shaking. Adrian turned toward her. Elena! She didn't respond. Her eyes had turned completely silver. Her voice was no longer entirely her own. You killed my mother! A voice answered from the darkness. No. Damon stepped out. I did. Adrian lunged, but Damon smiled, because he had been waiting for exactly this moment. He raised his hand. The ancient wolf roared. The ground split apart, and from beneath the palace, something enormous began rising. Damon looked at Elena. Now you understand. Elena's eyes burned. Understand what? Damon smiled. The wedding was never meant to give you to the king. He pointed toward Adrian. It was meant to bring the king close enough to you. His smile widened. So your blood could choose him. Elena froze. Damon's final words echoed through the chamber. Because only the blood of the Alpha King can complete the awakening. Adrian stared at Elena. What does that mean? Damon laughed. It means your mate bond was never an accident. The ancient wolf roared again. The palace began collapsing above them, and then Elena heard a final voice inside her mind. Not the wolf, not her mother, not Damon. A voice she had never heard before. My daughter. Elena's eyes widened. Your real father is alive. She stopped breathing. The voice continued, "And he is the man sitting on the throne." Elena slowly turned toward Adrian, her heart shattered, because suddenly, the impossible question wasn't whether Adrian was her mate. It was whether the Alpha King himself was connected to the secret that had destroyed her family. And behind them, Damon smiled, because the truth about the wedding had finally been revealed. But the truth about Elena's blood was only beginning. Elena stared at Adrian. For several seconds, she couldn't breathe. The ancient chamber around them had become strangely quiet. The collapsing palace, the roaring wolf, the screams of the guards. Even Damon Cross seemed to disappear into the background. There was only one thing Elena could hear. The voice inside her head. "Your real father is alive." And then, "He is the man sitting on the throne." Adrian, her mate, the Alpha King, her supposed protector, her father's identity. Elena's eyes filled with tears. "No." Adrian stepped toward her. "Elena," she backed away. "No. Listen to me. Don't come closer." Adrian stopped. The hurt in his eyes was immediate. Elena had never seen him look like that. Not angry, not powerful, just wounded. She shook her head. "You knew. I didn't. You knew something about my family. I knew nothing about this. Your father knew my mother." Adrian's face hardened. "My father died when I was 12. He helped my mother escape. I didn't know." "Then why does the voice say you're my father?" Adrian stared at her. "I don't know." Elena's breathing became uneven. Everything was happening too quickly. Her mother was dead. Damon was standing somewhere in the darkness. The ancient wolf was awake. And now she was being told that the man she had been falling for might somehow be connected to her bloodline. It was impossible. It had to be impossible. Adrian slowly approached. "Elena, look at me." She didn't. "Look at me." She finally raised her eyes. His golden gaze met hers. "I swear to you," he said quietly, "I am not your father." Elena's lips trembled. "Then why would it say that?" "I don't know." "Then how can I trust you?" Adrian's expression broke. "You don't have to." She stared at him. He continued. "I want you to, but you understand why I can't." "Yes." His voice was barely above a whisper. "I understand." For the first time since the night they met, Adrian didn't reach for her. He didn't command her. He didn't tell her what to do. He simply stood there and allowed her to choose. And somehow, that made Elena's heart hurt even more. Damon stepped from the shadows. Beautiful. Elena turned toward him. Damon's silver-gray eyes were fixed on Adrian. "This is exactly what I wanted." Adrian's eyes flashed. "You're finished." Damon laughed. "You still don't understand." He pointed toward Elena. "The mate bond has already awakened the blood." Elena frowned. "What do you mean?" "The moment you kissed her, the first stage began." Adrian's expression darkened. "What first stage?" Damon smiled. "The awakening." He looked at Elena. "Your blood has been dormant since birth." Elena said nothing. "But your mother's blood was incomplete." Damon continued. "She carried the moonblood gene, but she couldn't awaken the ancient power." "Why?" "Because she wasn't the chosen heir." Elena's heart pounded. "You're saying I was?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because your father was different." Adrian stepped forward. "Who was he?" Damon looked at him. "That's the question, isn't it?" Adrian's voice became threatening. "Answer me." Damon smiled. "You've spent your entire life believing your father was the last Alpha King." "He was." "No." Damon shook his head. "Your father was the last Alpha King you were allowed to know about." Adrian froze. Elena stared at Damon. "What does that mean?" Damon turned toward her. "It means the man who raised the royal line was not the first." A terrible silence filled the chamber. Damon's voice dropped. "The first Alpha never died." Adrian's eyes narrowed. You're talking about the ancient wolf. Yes? What does that have to do with me? Damon smiled. Everything. Elena shook her head. No. Damon looked at her. You don't understand your own blood yet. He pointed toward the glowing symbol on her wrist. You aren't simply connected to the first wolf. Elena looked down. The silver symbol pulsed beneath her skin. Damon continued. You carry its blood. Elena stared at him. That's impossible. Is it? He stepped closer. Ask your mother. Elena's eyes filled with tears. She is dead. Damon shrugged. Then ask the dead. He snapped his fingers. The ancient wolf roared. The walls began shaking again. A wave of silver energy surged through the chamber. Elena fell to her knees. Adrian rushed toward her. Elena! She grabbed her head. Images flooded her mind. Her mother. The forest. A newborn baby. A man holding a silver crown. A black wolf. A golden moon. And then, a throne. Elena saw herself sitting on it. Beside her was Adrian, but he wasn't wearing the crown. He was kneeling. Elena gasped. The vision disappeared. Adrian caught her. What did you see? She stared at him. You were kneeling. What? In front of me. Adrian's expression changed. Damon smiled. Now you understand. The palace began to collapse. Adrian looked toward the ceiling. We have to leave. He lifted Elena into his arms. She immediately protested. I can walk. I know. Then put me down. No. Adrian, argue with me after we survive. Despite everything, Elena almost smiled. He carried her toward the stairs. Damon didn't follow. Instead, he remained beside the ancient wolf. Elena looked back. Why isn't he attacking us? Adrian frowned. I don't know. Damon smiled. Because this isn't my battle. Elena stared. What? Damon's eyes turned toward Adrian. It's yours. The chamber shook. A massive crack split the floor. Damon stepped backward. Choose carefully, Elena. She froze. Choose what? Your mate. Adrian's arms tightened around her. Damon continued. The bond can be completed. Elena looked at Adrian. Or broken. Damon smiled. But only you can decide. Then, darkness swallowed him. They reached the palace courtyard, just as the eastern tower collapsed. Warriors rushed everywhere. Servants screamed. Horses broke free from their stables. The sky had turned dark despite the morning. A massive silver cloud covered the moon. Elena stood beside Adrian. Her mother's blood was still on her hands. She couldn't stop staring at it. Adrian noticed. He gently took her hand. You don't have to carry this alone. She looked at him. I already lost her. I know. She died because of me. No, Damon came because of me. He came because he wanted your power. That's the same thing. No. Adrian's voice became firm. She died protecting you. Elena began crying. Adrian pulled her into his arms. She resisted for only a second. Then she collapsed against his chest. I don't know what to do. You don't have to know yet. I don't know who I am. You're Elena. She looked up. That's enough for you? Yes. He wiped a tear from her cheek. I don't care whether you're moonblood, royal, human, wolf, or something no one has ever seen before. His eyes held hers. You're still Elena. Her heart broke. Because that was exactly what she needed to hear. 3 days passed. The palace was placed under lockdown. Damon was gone. The ancient wolf had disappeared beneath the palace, and Elena's mother's body had been taken to the Moonblood Sanctuary. No funeral had been held. Not yet. The kingdom was too unstable. Every pack had heard rumors about the awakening. Some were already preparing for war. Others wanted Elena handed over. The royal council demanded that Adrian distance himself from her. He refused. Then one morning, the council delivered an ultimatum. Elena stood beside Adrian as Lord Theron read it aloud. The Moonblood heir must be removed from the capital until her power can be controlled. Adrian stared at him. No. Theron swallowed. Your Majesty, no. The Pax are afraid. Then reassure them. They believe she could destroy the kingdom. Then they can believe whatever they want. Theron looked at Elena. She is too powerful. Adrian stepped in front of her. She is my mate. That is precisely the problem. The room became silent. Theron continued. The bond may be influencing your judgment. Adrian's eyes flashed gold. Choose your next words carefully. You have a kingdom to protect. And I will. Even from her? Adrian looked at Elena, then back at Theron. If I ever believe she is a threat to innocent people, I will stop her myself. Elena stared at him. He continued. But until then, nobody touches her. The council fell silent. Elena looked down. For the first time, she understood something. Adrian wasn't protecting her because the mate bond forced him to. He was protecting her because he had chosen to. That evening, Elena went to the sanctuary. Her mother's body lay beneath a white cloth. Candles surrounded the room. Elena approached slowly. She reached for her mother's hand. It was cold. I found you, she whispered. Tears rolled down her face. And I lost you again. She closed her eyes. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Nothing happened. Then the silver pendant around her neck began glowing. Elena opened her eyes. The room changed. Her mother's spirit appeared before her. Elena gasped. Mom? Her mother smiled. I don't have long. Elena stepped forward. Tell me the truth. I will. Who is my father? Her mother looked toward the door, then back at Elena. You've already met him. Elena's heart stopped. Who? Her mother whispered. Your father is not Adrian. Elena released a breath. Relief. But then her mother's expression changed. However. Elena's heart tightened. However what? He carries your father's blood. What? Your father was the first Alpha's chosen vessel. Elena frowned. I don't understand. He wasn't the first Alpha. Her mother stepped closer. But he carried his power. Elena whispered. Who was he? Her mother's image began fading. His name was... The sanctuary doors suddenly slammed open. Elena turned. The vision disappeared. Adrian stood there. Elena! She looked at him. What? He looked alarmed. The northern Pax have attacked. Within minutes, the palace was in chaos. Warriors ran toward the gates. Adrian armed himself. Elena followed. You're staying here, he ordered. No. Elena, I can help. You don't know how to control your power. I know enough. No. She grabbed his arm. Adrian, people are dying. He stared at her. She continued. If my blood caused this, then I need to stop it. Adrian's expression softened. This isn't your fault, but it happened because of me. No. Then let me help. He was silent. Finally, he nodded. Stay beside me. She smiled. I will. The battle at the northern gate was brutal. Hundreds of rogue wolves attacked the palace. Their eyes glowed red. Something was controlling them. Adrian shifted. His massive black wolf tore through the attackers. Elena stood behind the royal guards. Then she felt it. The same energy. The same ancient call. Her blood began glowing. She looked toward the battlefield. They're not attacking willingly. Adrian shifted back. What? They're being controlled. How do you know? I can feel it. She closed her eyes. The red energy surrounding the wolves became visible to her. A dark thread connected each wolf to something beyond the mountains. Elena reached toward it. Adrian grabbed her wrist. Don't. If I cut the connection, they'll stop. You don't know what it will do to you. I have to try. Elena. She pulled free. Then she raised both hands. Silver gold light exploded from her body. Every wolf on the battlefield froze. The dark threads snapped. One by one, the wolves collapsed. Silence. The warriors stared. Elena dropped to her knees. Adrian caught her. You did it. She looked at him. I did? Yes. For the first time, she smiled. Then a scream came from the palace. Your Majesty! Adrian turned. A royal guard came running. The council chamber! What happened? Someone has taken the royal records. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Who? The guard swallowed. The Queen Mother. They rushed inside. The council chamber was empty. The ancient books were gone. The Moonblood records were gone. The prophecy scroll was gone. And on the table was a single piece of paper. Adrian picked it up. Elena read over his shoulder. The kingdom will burn before the truth is revealed. At the bottom was a symbol, the same black and silver ring. Elena's heart stopped. My aunt. Adrian looked at her. You think she took them? I don't know. Before they could investigate, a warrior entered. Your Majesty. What? The western gate has fallen. Adrian's face hardened. How many attackers? The warrior shook his head. None. Then what happened? The warrior's voice trembled. The gate opened from the inside. Adrian immediately ordered the palace sealed. But it was too late. The enemy was already inside. They moved through the palace like shadows. One group attacked the armory. Another seized the communication tower. A third headed toward the Moonblood sanctuary. Elena realized their target. My mother's body. Adrian nodded. Stay here. No. Elena, they want something from her. They ran. When they reached the sanctuary, the doors were open. The candles had been extinguished. The white cloth lay on the floor. Elena's mother's body was gone. Elena stopped. No. Adrian searched the room. Guards! Nobody answered. Then Elena noticed something on the wall. Blood. Words had been written across the stone. Bring the Moonblood to the Black Forest before midnight. Below the message was another line. Or, her mother dies again. Elena's blood ran cold. Adrian stared at the message. No! Elena turned toward him. I have to go. No. They have my mother. It's a trap. I know. Then you understand why I'm saying no. Elena looked at him. If I don't go, they'll kill her. She is already dead. Elena shook her head. Not like that. Adrian stepped closer. You don't know what they'll do to you. They'll kill me. Yes. And if I don't go, they'll use her body to awaken something. Adrian went silent. Elena reached for his hand. Come with me. His eyes softened. I was always going to. They rode into the Black Forest just before midnight. The trees were enormous, ancient. Their branches twisted together overhead, blocking the moon. Adrian rode beside Elena. A group of royal warriors followed behind them. The deeper they went, the quieter the forest became. Then the horses stopped. Elena frowned. Why did they stop? Adrian looked around. We're here. A voice echoed through the trees. No. Damon stepped into view. You've arrived at the beginning. Elena dismounted. Where is my mother? Damon pointed ahead. A stone altar stood beneath an enormous dead tree. Elena's mother lay upon it. Her body was surrounded by candles. Elena started forward. Adrian grabbed her arm. Wait! Damon smiled. Always cautious. Adrian growled. Release her. Damon shook his head. Not yet. What do you want? You know. Damon looked at Elena. Her. Elena stepped forward. I'll come. Adrian turned toward her. No. She looked at him. You can't stop me. I won't let you sacrifice yourself. Elena's eyes filled with tears. If I don't go, my mother stays trapped. Adrian shook his head. You are not dying for anyone. Damon laughed. This is beautiful. Adrian looked at him. You're enjoying this? Of course. Damon pointed toward Elena. She has to choose. Choose what? Her mother? He pointed toward Adrian. Or her mate? Elena's heart shattered. Damon continued. The Moonblood bond requires sacrifice. Elena stared at her mother, then at Adrian. Her entire body trembled. Adrian walked toward her. Elena! She looked at him. You don't have to choose me. What? If saving your mother means walking away from me, his voice cracked slightly. I'll let you. Elena's eyes filled with tears. You'd let me leave? Yes. Even if it destroys you? Yes. Why? Adrian reached for her hand. Because loving you means giving you a choice. She stared at him. Damon's smile disappeared. He had expected fear. He had expected desperation. He hadn't expected Adrian to surrender his own heart. Elena slowly stepped toward Adrian. She placed her hand against his chest. I spent my whole life being told what I should do. Her voice trembled. Who I should be. She looked at Damon. Who I should love. Then she looked back at Adrian. But nobody has ever asked me what I want. Adrian's eyes softened. What do you want? Elena took a breath. I choose. She stopped. A sudden pain ripped through her chest. She screamed. Silver gold light exploded around her. Adrian caught her. Elena! The forest began shaking. The moon disappeared behind black clouds. Damon looked toward the sky. No. Elena's eyes turned completely silver, then gold, then black. Damon took a step backward. What have you done? Elena looked at him. Her voice was no longer entirely human. You wanted me to choose. Damon stared. You don't understand what you're doing. Elena smiled. I do now. The ancient wolf appeared behind her. Massive, silver. Its eyes burned like twin suns. Every warrior dropped to their knees. Adrian stared at Elena. She turned toward him, and for one beautiful second, the terrifying power disappeared. Her eyes became hazel green again. She whispered, I choose you. The mate bond exploded. A golden light wrapped around Adrian and Elena. The entire forest shook. Damon screamed. No! The ancient wolf howled. The bond was complete. But then, Elena suddenly collapsed. Adrian caught her. Elena! Her body went cold. Her eyes closed. He pressed his forehead against hers. Please. Nothing. Elena! Still nothing. Damon slowly smiled. Adrian looked up. What did you do? Damon's smile widened. I didn't do anything. Then why isn't she waking up? Because you misunderstood the choice. Adrian's face went pale. Damon pointed toward the sky. The clouds parted. A second moon appeared beside the first. Impossible. 2 moons. The ancient prophecy had begun. Damon whispered, she chose her mate. Then his expression turned sinister. But the Moonblood doesn't get to keep both. Adrian tightened his arms around Elena. What does that mean? Damon smiled. It means the bond has awakened the final curse. The ancient wolf suddenly turned toward Adrian. Its eyes became blood red. Adrian froze. Damon whispered the final words. By choosing you, Elena has sentenced the Alpha King to death. Adrian looked down at Elena. Her eyes remained closed. And for the first time, the ancient wolf lowered its head toward him, not in submission, but in judgment. Then it spoke in a voice that shook the entire forest. One mate must die. Adrian's blood ran cold. Elena suddenly opened her eyes, but they were no longer hazel green. They were completely silver, and she whispered one terrifying sentence. Adrian, you have to let me kill you. The words came from Elena's lips, but they did not sound like Elena. Her voice was deeper, older, almost ancient. Adrian stared into her silver eyes. The woman he loved was standing before him, but something else was speaking through her. The ancient wolf growled behind her. One mate must die. The warriors surrounding them dropped to their knees. Damon watched from the shadows with a satisfied smile. Everything had gone according to plan, or so he thought. Adrian slowly stood. Elena, her silver eyes remained fixed on him. Stay away. No. I said stay away. You're not going to kill me. Her lips trembled. I don't know if I can stop it. Then I'll stop it for you. He stepped closer. The ancient wolf snarled. Adrian didn't stop. Elena. She backed away. Don't. He continued. You told me you wanted a choice. I chose you. Then choose again. She stared at him. Adrian reached for her hand. You don't have to become a monster because someone wrote it in a prophecy. Her eyes flickered. For a moment, the silver disappeared. Hazel green returned. Adrian? He grabbed her hand. I know you're still there. Damon's smile disappeared. No. Adrian looked toward him. Damon suddenly raised his hand. Kill him! The ancient wolf lunged. Adrian shifted. The impact sent both wolves crashing through the trees. Elena screamed. Adrian! Her power exploded outward. The forest shook. Damon stumbled backward. No! Elena looked at him. Her eyes burned silver. You lied to me! Damon froze. You told me the bond would destroy him. It will. No. Elena stepped forward. You said one mate must die. Yes. You never said which mate. Damon's expression changed. What? Elena looked toward the two wolves fighting in the darkness. Then she whispered, the prophecy was never about Adrian. The ancient wolf slammed Adrian into the ground. Its enormous jaws opened. Adrian's black wolf struggled beneath it. But instead of attacking, Adrian stared into its golden eyes. I know what you're doing, the wolf snarled. You're testing me. The ancient creature paused. Adrian slowly shifted back. He exposed his throat. The warriors gasped. Damon stared. What is he doing? Adrian looked directly at the wolf. If you want my life, take it. The wolf lowered its head. Elena screamed. No! She ran forward. Her silver gold power erupted. The ancient wolf suddenly stopped. Its claws remained inches from Adrian's chest. Elena stood between them. Tears streamed down her face. You're not taking him. The wolf stared at her. Then Elena felt something. A memory. Not hers. The ancient wolf's. She saw the first alpha standing before a woman. A moonblood queen. They were mates. But the alpha had become corrupted by power. The queen had been forced to imprison him. Not kill him. Imprison him. The ancient wolf had remained behind as his guardian. Waiting. Protecting the prison. Elena understood. The prophecy had been twisted. The first alpha was not supposed to be killed. He was supposed to be released from the curse, but only the true moonblood heir could do it. Elena closed her eyes. I understand. The ancient wolf bowed. Damon's face went pale. No. Elena turned toward him. You didn't know. I know everything. No. She shook her head. You only knew the version of the prophecy someone wanted you to believe. Damon took a step backward. What did you see? The truth. The forest began glowing. The second moon disappeared. The black clouds scattered, and the ancient wolf transformed. Its enormous body began shrinking. Silver light covered it. When the light faded, a man stood where the wolf had been. He was tall, ancient. His long silver hair fell over his shoulders. His eyes were golden, and around his neck hung the same black and silver pendant Elena had seen in the old paintings. Everyone stared. The first alpha. the ancient being who had existed before the kingdoms. He looked at Elena. My daughter. Elena froze. What? The man's expression softened. Not by blood. He touched his chest. By inheritance. Elena slowly understood. You were speaking to me. Yes. Inside my mind. Yes. Why? To guide you. Damon's face twisted with rage. You were supposed to remain asleep. The ancient Alpha looked at him. And you were supposed to die 25 years ago. Damon stepped backward. Elena stared at Damon. You survived. Yes. Why? Because your mother saved me. Damon laughed bitterly. She thought I could change. The ancient Alpha shook his head. She was wrong. Elena's fists tightened. You killed her. Damon looked at her. She chose her fate. No. Elena stepped forward. You chose it for her. Damon's eyes flashed. You have no idea what your mother did. Then tell me. Damon hesitated. Elena's voice became stronger. Tell me why you hunted my family. Damon looked toward Adrian, then back at Elena. Because your mother knew the truth about the royal bloodline. What truth? That the throne had been stolen. Silence. Adrian slowly stood. What do you mean? Damon smiled. Your ancestors betrayed the first Alpha. The ancient Alpha looked away. They feared my power. Damon continued. They imprisoned him, erased his history, and built the royal kingdom over his bloodline. Elena stared at Adrian. So the royal family stole the throne? Adrian's face was unreadable. My family did. The ancient Alpha looked at him. But you did not. Adrian frowned. What? You are not like them. The ancient Alpha stepped closer. You were chosen by the Moonblood. Elena's eyes widened. Chosen? Her mother's voice echoed in her memory. Your father is not Adrian, but he carries your father's blood. Elena suddenly understood. Adrian wasn't her father. He carried the blood of her father. The bloodline had been transferred through the royal family. The ancient prophecy had been misunderstood. The voice had never said Adrian was her biological father. It had said he carried her father's blood. The throne had been waiting for the right mate, the right king, the right woman, and Elena was that woman. Damon suddenly attacked. His body transformed into a massive gray wolf. He lunged at Elena. Adrian shifted instantly. The two wolves collided. Damon was strong, but Adrian was stronger. He drove Damon into the ground. Damon clawed Adrian's shoulder. Adrian growled. Elena watched. Then something inside her changed. She no longer felt afraid. She felt powerful. She understood her blood now. She understood the wolf. She understood the bond. And most importantly, she understood herself. Elena raised her hand. Silver gold energy surrounded Damon. He screamed. No. Elena walked toward him. You wanted my blood. The energy tightened. You wanted my power. Damon struggled. You wanted me to destroy my mate. She stopped. But you forgot one thing. Damon looked up. What? Elena's eyes became brilliant silver. I choose what my power becomes. The energy exploded. Damon was thrown across the forest. He crashed into a tree. The warriors stared. Adrian shifted back. Elena! She turned. He looked at her with something between awe and love. You did it! She smiled. We did. But the battle wasn't over. Damon slowly stood. Blood ran from his mouth. He laughed. You think this is victory? Adrian stepped forward. It's over. No. Damon looked at Elena. You still haven't discovered the worst secret. Elena's smile disappeared. What secret? Damon pointed toward the palace. The woman you think is your aunt. He laughed. She isn't your aunt. Elena froze. What? Catherine was never your mother's sister. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Then who is she? Damon smiled. She was the royal spy assigned to watch Elena from birth. Elena's heart stopped. No, she was there when your mother gave birth. No, she took you away. Elena shook her head. You're lying. Damon looked toward the forest entrance. Ask her yourself. Everyone turned. Catherine stood between the trees. Her face was wet with tears. Elena stared. Aunt Catherine? Catherine slowly lowered her head. I am sorry. Elena's heart shattered. You knew. Catherine nodded. Everything. You knew who my mother was. Yes. You knew I was Moonblood. Yes. You knew about Damon. Yes. Elena's voice broke. Then why did you lie to me? Catherine stepped forward. Because your mother made me promise. To do what? To keep you hidden. From Damon? From everyone. Even Adrian? Catherine looked at the king. Especially the royal family. Adrian's expression hardened. Why? Catherine looked at him. Because 25 years ago, the royal council ordered Elena's death. The warriors gasped. Adrian froze. My council? Your ancestors, Catherine continued. They believed the Moonblood heir would overthrow the throne, Elena whispered. And my mother? She refused to surrender you, so she ran. Yes. Why did she trust you? Catherine's eyes filled with tears. Because I was the only person inside the royal court who loved her. Elena looked down. So you weren't my aunt. Catherine shook her head. No. But you raised me. Yes. You protected me. Yes. You loved me. Catherine began crying. With everything I had. Elena walked toward her. For a moment, she wanted to be angry, but then she remembered all the nights Catherine had stayed beside her when she was sick. Every birthday, every meal, every time she had told Elena she was special. Elena's anger softened. You should have told me. I was afraid. So was I. Catherine reached for her. Elena allowed herself to be hugged, and for the first time in years, she understood that some lies were born from fear rather than cruelty. Damon suddenly laughed. Everyone turned. He was standing again. Catherine's face changed. No, Damon smiled. You really thought I came alone? The forest erupted. Hundreds of red eyes appeared between the trees. Rogue wolves. Dozens. Hundreds. Adrian immediately moved beside Elena. Stay behind me. Elena shook her head. No. He looked at her. I can fight. I know. I won't hide anymore. Adrian smiled. Then stand beside me. Elena took his hand. Together they faced the army. The ancient Alpha stepped behind them. You are ready. Elena looked at him. For what? To become what you were born to be. The moon appeared overhead. Silver light poured down. Elena's body began glowing. Her clothes transformed. The simple dress she had been wearing changed into a flowing silver-white gown. A crescent symbol appeared across her chest. The warriors fell to their knees. Adrian stared. She looked like the woman from the ancient painting, the Moonblood Queen. But there was something different. She wasn't wearing a crown. She didn't need one. Her power was enough. Damon stared in horror. No. Elena looked at him. Yes. He shook his head. You were supposed to be weak. I was never weak. You were supposed to be afraid. I was afraid. She stepped forward. But I'm not anymore. Damon's wolf charged. Elena raised her hand. The entire army stopped. Every wolf froze. Then, one by one, they lowered their heads. Damon looked around in disbelief. No! Elena walked toward him. You controlled them. Damon backed away. They belonged to me. No! She shook her head. They were enslaved. Her eyes flashed. And now they're free. The red glow disappeared from the wolves' eyes. They became normal. Damon stared. For the first time, fear appeared in his expression. You can't defeat me. Elena smiled. I don't need to. She looked at Adrian. He understood. The Alpha King stepped forward. Damon's eyes widened. No. Adrian shifted. His black wolf emerged. But this time, golden light surrounded his body. The ancient Alpha whispered, "The rightful king." Adrian attacked. Damon fought back. The two wolves crashed through the forest. Their battle shook the earth. Elena watched. Then she heard her mother's voice. "My little moon." She closed her eyes. "I understand now." The ancient Alpha looked at her. "What?" Elena smiled through her tears. "She never wanted me to become queen." Then what did she want? Elena looked toward Adrian. "She wanted me to choose my own life." The battle ended just before sunrise. Damon lay defeated. The rogue wolves had surrendered. The royal guards returned, and the palace stood damaged but alive. Adrian walked toward Elena. Blood covered his shirt. She rushed to him. "You're hurt." "I'm fine." She touched his face. "Don't lie." He smiled. "I've survived worse." She laughed through tears. "I almost lost you. But you didn't. Because I chose you." Adrian took her hand. "And I choose you." Elena looked into his eyes. No prophecy. No prophecy. No bloodline. No crown. No obligation. Adrian smiled. "Just us." She leaned forward. Their lips met. This time there was no magical explosion, no ancient prophecy, no supernatural force. Just two people choosing each other. When they pulled apart, Elena whispered, "I was never the wrong woman." Adrian smiled. "No." He touched her cheek. "You were the only woman." Weeks later, the kingdom began rebuilding. The royal council was dissolved. The stolen history was restored. The truth about the Moonblood was revealed. Elena's mother was honored as a protector of the kingdom. Catherine remained beside Elena, not as her aunt, not as a royal spy, but as the woman who had raised her. And Adrian? He stood beside Elena before the entire kingdom. He removed the royal crown from his head, then placed it in Elena's hands. The crowd gasped. Elena stared at him. "What are you doing?" Adrian smiled. "Giving you what was always yours." She shook her head. "I don't want a crown." "Then don't wear it." "What do you want me to do?" "Choose." She looked at the crown, then at Adrian. Finally, she placed the crown on the throne. "I choose my people." The crowd erupted. Adrian took her hand. "And I choose you." Elena smiled. The woman nobody noticed. The girl everyone overlooked. The orphan who had spent her life believing she was ordinary. She had never been ordinary. She had never been the wrong woman. She had been the missing piece of a kingdom's forgotten history. The last Moonblood. The chosen mate. And the woman who had taught an Alpha King that true power wasn't taking someone's choice away. It was giving them the freedom to choose. Months later, Elena stood on the palace balcony. The kingdom was peaceful. Adrian stood behind her. "You're quiet." She smiled. "I'm thinking." "About?" "How strange my life became." He wrapped his arms around her. "You were supposed to be a simple wedding guest." "I know." "You were supposed to disappear into the crowd." "I know." "And instead," he kissed her forehead, "you became queen." Elena laughed. "I still don't know how to be one." "You don't have to know everything." She looked at him. "Will you stay? Always? Even when I'm difficult? Especially then." She smiled. Then, suddenly, a tiny silver wolf appeared at the edge of the balcony. Elena froze. Adrian stared. The wolf looked directly at them. Its eyes were glowing gold. Elena's heart began racing. "Adrian!" "I see it." The wolf tilted its head. Then it spoke inside Elena's mind. "The first chapter has ended." Elena's smile disappeared. "What?" The wolf's eyes flashed. The next heir is already alive. The creature vanished. Elena stared at the empty balcony. Adrian looked at her. What did it say? She slowly turned toward him. Her expression was filled with disbelief. It said, she swallowed, "The next heir is already alive." Adrian's eyes widened. Somewhere beyond the kingdom, a newborn wolf opened its golden eyes. And far away, hidden in the mountains, someone whispered, "The Moonblood Queen has won." Then, now let's see if she can survive what comes next. If you enjoyed Elena and Adrian's story, comment, next part. Also tell us where you're watching from. And if you want more emotional Alpha King, hidden identity, rejected mate, and supernatural romance stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell.